When they start talking, when the people who I fight, when they start talking, that's when y'all get them. I'ma beat his ass.
He can't do shit.
For real. I better be quiet.
You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? That is it. Lamont, please say that in the second fight. Any questions? You got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like, don't ask, you got any grease in your hair tonight, Tank? Like,
matches that you fought? 0. What do you have to do to create enough separation where this don't happen again?
Whew, it's a good question. It's gonna be based on my training camp. I have to push myself a little harder if that didn't give me the win. And I have room. I definitely have room.
Tensions boiled over when Gervonta "Tank" Davis burst into the press conference, shouting a fierce warning to Lamont Roach. He declared he would finish Lamont right there in front of everyone watching. The room buzzed with energy, filled with strong emotions and unfinished challenges as the two fighters stared each other down before their rematch. With cameras flashing and fans on edge, Davis made it clear he wasn't just there to talk. He was there to send a powerful message. What followed was a heated exchange that fired up the boxing world, setting the stage for a fierce battle driven by pride, rivalry, and a thirst for revenge.
What's good, guys? Red Corner Boxing here. So the Ring magazine has today confirmed that Gervonta "Tank" Davis versus Lamont Roach Jr. 2 will take place on August the 16th in Las Vegas, Nevada. It's a great fight. We need to see it again. Who wins it and how, lads? Let us know here on Red Corner Boxing.
Promoter Gary Jonas shed some light on the negotiations for the rematch. While he didn't give too many details, Jonas did say that the second bout between Davis and Roach Jr. is all but finalized. Let's hear what he got to say right now.
Important question on everyone's mind. How close is the rematch? How big will it be? How close is it to getting done?
Very close. It's in my mind, it's a done deal, but there are formalities, but it's a done deal, and it's not far off.
The rematch between Gervonta and Lamont Roach Jr., originally set for June 21st, 2025, at the T-Mobile Arena in Las Vegas, was postponed. This happened mainly because Davis asked for more time to prepare, feeling he needed extra training to be ready. On top of that, financial problems with Premier Boxing Champions, the event's promoter, also caused delays. Because of these reasons, the fight was rescheduled to August 16, 2025, still in Las Vegas. Fans are eagerly waiting for this rematch, especially after the controversial draw in their first fight.
How you think one coming up with Tank?
I hope he don't fight Lamont, actually. Like, I hope he don't get in the ring with him again. Because at the end of the day, if he lose, it's just going to look bad on the fight with me. So it's going to look like somebody else already did it.
You want Tank to knock you out, yo.
I ain't even gonna lie to you.
I heard him say before. I heard him say, like, yo, I want to fight Tank, and that's nice, but why do you want Tank to knock you out so bad? Like,
look. That sound good. That sound real good, but she's too little.
Too little.
I promise you he's too little.
Lamont is signed and ready to go for the rematch, correct?
Y'all, Tank plays so many head games, it's not even funny. Let me tell you something, bro. Lamont Roach has never been this big of a fighter before. Everyone knows Lamont Roach now. So he could be reaping the benefits of just enjoying his status of having that draw with Tank, while Tank is the one with the eye of the tiger. Tank is probably in the gym training his ass off and then sign the contract like, all right, we got to fight win. June, oh shit, let's hurry up and dash your ass. Sugar Ray Leonard did that to Roberto Duran. Duran was told that he had a fight in a couple weeks, and he was like, dude, I'm 190 pounds in Panama, which is why Roberto Duran was out of shape in the No Mas fight and was like, no mas. So Tank could be over there working, sign the contract in 3 weeks, and all of a sudden Lamont Roach got to put a training camp together.
Their first fight on March 1st. 2025, at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, ended in a majority draw, leaving fans and experts split. One judge scored it 115-113 for Davis, while the other two saw it as a 114-114 tie. The match had a controversial moment in the 9th round when Davis went down on one knee after a jab from Roach. The referee didn't count it as a knockdown, a decision that caused a lot of debate among boxing fans.
For me, Tank Davis fighting a -1600 as your main event odds is crazy to me, dude. That's crazy. That underdog lived up to the hype. He ended up, overperforming. Lamont Roach, credit to him, all this other stuff. And it took some politics to keep Davis as champion. You ever see guys getting the referee their own fight? Dude, anybody else takes that knee, you're getting counted, bro. The referee, actually, his instinct, if you watch that, the referee's instinct was to count. If you notice, Steve Willis started counting, and then he looked at the timekeeper outside the ring, wasn't counting, and he stopped counting. So you get to call your own timeout. You know, earlier in the fight, if you saw that shoulder barge that Tank did to Roach in the clinch, he didn't get a warning, but Roach's reaction got the warning. This is the politics we're dealing with. You keep doing this, you're looking at short-term money and long-term destruction of a sport.
Davis explained that his performance suffered because of some distractions. He mentioned that hair products irritated his eyes and made it hard to see clearly. He also said the missing ring girls disturbed his focus during the fight. Despite these challenges, Davis accepted responsibility and said, "I definitely could have done better, and that's on me."
He take a knee. You need to lose like 10-8 that round at least, no? And plus the corner go up and put it a towel in the face. That's a disqualification for sure. I'm talking about the rules, but you know, it's not my business.
Critics say Davis purposely went down on one knee in the 9th round against Roach to throw off his opponent's flow and take back control of the fight. By choosing to kneel, Davis was likely trying to buy himself a few seconds to catch his breath instead of getting caught by Roach's strong attacks. Many fans and experts see this as a smart move from an experienced fighter to stop Roach's momentum.
And to go ahead and keep it real with y'all, I think that knee that Tank took was because Lamont Roach was in a rhythm and Gervonta Davis tried to throw this man off a rhythm. Do I believe the Murray's sport waves, the soul glow was in his eye? Absolutely not. I believe that man Tank got nerve-eye and said, hold on, this man Lamont Roach is cooking. I need to take me a quick timeout and a quick break. It's nasty, it's horrible, it's disgusting. It's bad enough how hard and difficult it is to beat this man. Most fighters is weight drained. Most fighters has clauses on them. So when somebody who's coming up is able to compete with Gervonta Tank Davis, you handicap the man with trash rulings.
Davis explained that the issue came from a hair treatment he had done just 2 days before the fight. He said the grease from the treatment mixed with his sweat during the match, causing his eyes to burn. Talking about the crowd's reaction after the fight, Davis showed his frustration, stressing that his response was real and caused by the sudden irritation, not a tactic to change the fight's outcome.
Can you describe what the feeling was like in the ring? And was it to get the towel out, to get the burn out of your eyes, or what was going on? And
I didn't want to get caught. I didn't want to get caught while my eyes was burning, and you know, like you can get knocked out like that. So I'd rather take the knee than, you know. But I didn't really know that you can like get disqualified for all that, or like when you start counting, I'm like, what the hell? But I don't know. It's cool.
Fans and experts have responded, with mixed feelings to Davis's explanation, with some questioning if the moment should have been called a knockdown, no matter the reason. The controversy around the Gervonta Davis versus Lamont Roach fight has intensified as the New York State Athletic Commission, NYSAC, has officially opened a review of the fight's result. According to Boxing Kingdom, technical problems delayed. A quick review of the crucial 9th round moment when Davis took a knee. Many believe that moment should have counted as a knockdown for Roach, which could have changed the final outcome.
Even without the knee, that should have been a knockdown. I thought I should have won a competitive fight. I think I did what I needed to do necessary to bank the rounds. I'm just a little frustrated with the scorecards. I thought I should have won.
After the controversial draw, Roach's team appealed to the Athletic Commission to change the result. Their appeal focused on a key moment in the 9th round when Davis took a knee after a jab from Roach. Referee Steve Willis started counting, but stopped at 3, letting Davis go back to his corner, where his trainer wiped his eyes. A move that breaks boxing rules. Davis later explained that grease from his hair was causing his vision problems during that time.
It ain't no timeouts in boxing. Why are you taking? You know that. You should know that. So that's the thing where I'm like confused, because that's supposed to be a knockdown. That's a 10-8 round. If that's a 10-8 round, I win the fight. So, you know what I'm saying? Like that draw turned into a 115, 114 my way.
Going in, okay, it's round 10, right? You see that you down on the scorecard.
George Kambosos Jr. didn't hold back in his criticism of Davis after the controversial draw with Lamont Roach Jr. He praised Roach's strong performance, pointing out his skill and toughness in the ring. Kambosos was especially impressed by how Roach pushed Davis, something few fighters have managed. Looking back at the fight, Kambosos questioned whether Davis is ready to face top-level opponents. The match was clouded by controversy, especially in the 9th round when Davis took a knee but wasn't ruled down. This moment sparked a lot of debate, with many in the boxing world feeling Roach deserved the victory.
Make of that fight on the weekend, what'd you make of the controversy in that one?
Look, I had just finished my recovery session, so I was pretty docile and relaxed, and then the fight, especially at the start of it, wasn't too thrilling and too action-packed, so I was starting to doze off a little bit, but I woke up a little bit more when obviously Lamont started giving him some work, and he looked good, man. I got to give respect to Lamont Roach. He proved a lot of guys wrong. I think he shocked Tank a lot with what he was able to bring, and again, we saw the controversy with the knee. To me, that's a knockdown. You can't just take a knee and decide to, go to your corner and get your face wiped. So, yeah, if that's a 10-8 round, Lamont wins the fight. So it's, unfortunate, but that's the fight game. Hopefully they'll do it again and he gets paid, what he's worth.
Have you ever seen anything like that in boxing before? A guy sort of just voluntarily...
We've seen Floyd take a knee and be put on the count. We've seen Miguel Cotto.
Jake Paul has confirmed that if Gervonta Davis wins his rematch against Lamont Roach, they will start talks again for a possible exhibition fight. Despite the big weight difference, Paul fights at cruiserweight, 195 lbs, and Davis at lightweight, 135 lbs, the match would be a 10-round exhibition. The fight was almost finalized, but was delayed because of Davis's draw with Roach. However, both fighters win their next fights. The exhibition could happen later this year. Tank Davis is training hard for his rematch, working with Kenny Ellis, one of boxing's top trainers, known for his discipline and attention to detail. Ellis brings focus and intensity to every workout. With his help, Tank is improving his technique and endurance, making sure past mistakes don't happen again. Ellis will be in Tank's corner during the fight, ready to make smart adjustments on the spot. This team-up shows a stronger, sharper Tank Davis than fans have seen before.
But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
How real or what was to it with you and Tank actually being the thing? Was that something that was talked about?
Yeah, no, it was highly talked about and in negotiations and almost ready to make happen, but he has to do his rematch with Lamont and get that W, and then we'll be able to run it back. But me and Gervonta were scheduled to fight for sure.
Getting back together with Coach Calvin Ford adds a new spark to Tank Davis's training camp. Their connection goes deeper than just boxing. It's built on years of trust and experience together. Coach Calvin has been there throughout Tank's rise, shaping his natural talent into a polished fighter. Every big victory Davis has achieved has had Coach Calvin working behind the scenes, guiding him every step of the way.
Who's doing the interview circuit, right? Kind of being a little bit out of character leading into the rematch. Do you think, and this is what Mill City asked, do you think that is something you guys are taking in consideration in preparation for the fight? And what Kenny Ellis said was, look, man, we're not falling for the banana in the tailpipe. We know what Lamont Roach brings to the table, and he says that Lamont Roach is we're not believing that he's out there drinking or blowing up a bunch of weight and all of that. He says what most people say, hey, we're going to prepare for the best version of Lamont Roach that is going to that'll come for us. But the way that he saw the fight coming out was he said he sees it like the fight before, a lot of really crisp shots landing. And the fight is going to be similar, but hey, the fight at the same time is going to be very different. Now, I just happen to have a very good friend named Phoenix the Assassin who breaks down fights for me. He's a trainer, got a world-class eye for fights. And what he speculated should be the difference between the first fight and the second fight for Gervonta is that Gervonta is going to need to spend a lot more time fighting on the outside and scoring points for a longer period of time on the outside, and then making sure that, and basically forcing Lamont Roach to try to initiate something with slower hands, score his points, and get out. And he said the reason that he believes that Lamont Roach would be able to do that.
Veteran boxing commentator Jim Lampley was doubtful about Roach's chances in their rematch even before their first fight. He pointed out Davis's smart southpaw style, quick footwork, and clear killer instinct. Lampley also highlighted Davis's surprising punching power, comparing his knockouts to those of a young Mike Tyson. While Lampley acknowledged Roach as a skilled boxer, he believed Roach would have a tough time handling Davis's strength and skill.
All right, Sean Zattel here with the legendary Jim Lampley, PPV.com, and called a controversial draw tonight. The crowd inside Barclays, they did not like it. What did you think of the verdict, Jim? Was it the right call?
An upset draw is always a mixed bag for fans, for people in the sport, et cetera, et cetera. I thought it was, in essence, the right decision. The only question about whether the upset draw is justified is whether Steve Willis erred in not deducting a point in a late round when Tank Davis appeared to touch the canvas with his hand. And, you know, that is going to stay in the woodwork and haunt the fight in the breach a little bit. But at the end of the day, it's a setback in Tank's career and for his reputation. I think most observers expected him to knock Roach out, particularly because Roach was moving up from 130 to 135. Sometimes when a fighter moves up in weight, he gets stronger, and it looked as though maybe Roach did get stronger and had a greater ability to resist Tank's power than other opponents have had, because Tank did tag him with a lot of clean shots.
Roberto Diaz, advisor to Lamont Roach Jr., recognized the tough challenge Davis brings, calling him one of the top fighters in the world. Diaz pointed to Davis's strong record and power, but also showed confidence in Roach's skills. He highlighted Roach's deep experience, including his amateur background and the progress he's made since their last fights. Diaz believes Roach's knowledge of Davis and his own growth could be key factors in the upcoming rematch.
James Turner for the untouchable, true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. All right, Brandon Taylor here, True School Sports. I'm with Roberto Diaz. Roberto, good to see you as always.
Likewise, thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yes, for sure. You're part of Lamont Roach's camp. Well, what's your official role with Lamont Roach?
I'm an advisor for him.
Okay, so you guide him on how to make certain decisions?
Correct.
Okay.
We've been together for many years since his pro debut back in the days at Golden Boy, and after we both parted ways, we hooked up.
Okay, that's pretty cool. That's pretty interesting because, you know, now that you guys are not with Golden Boy, you're still together. So
absolutely,
you guys must have had a good relationship when you were at Golden Boy.
Always had a good relationship with him and his father, and obviously I'm honored and just, you know, honored to be a part of him. And when I got the call to continue working with him, it was a no-brainer for me.
Okay. A lot of the boxing media and the boxing fans are overlooking Lamont Roach, and they're angry that Tank isn't getting fights against Shakur Stevenson, Keyshawn Davis, these kind of guys. But what can you, from someone that's been with him from the beginning, what can you say about the talent level of Lamont Roach?
I don't blame the fans, but it's a little bit of the unknown for them. It's a little bit of they don't know who he is. On Saturday night, they're going to know who he is. They're going to respect him, and they're going to become fans. Mm-hmm. One thing about Lamont is he fought all the styles. The kid has the talent. The kid has the want, but he's never had the opportunity to be on this type of stage. Mm-hmm. Now it is. Now it's on him. He's put in the work. The talent's there. The hunger's there. He knows what a win means. And here's where it's important. The fans are okay not to know, because until they are introduced, like they know who Shakur is, they know who these other guys is. They'll know on Saturday. But most importantly, Tank knows what he's facing because he brought in two of the best trainers in boxing. Not one, but two, because he knows what he has in front of him.
Kenny Ellis, a coach in Davis's camp, stood by the decision to face Roach, highlighting Roach's impressive background as a 7-time national champion with a strong pedigree. Ellis admitted that some fans might doubt the matchup, but warned that underestimating Roach would be a big mistake. He noted that both fighters have improved since their amateur days, and said the rematch will show how much they've grown and adapted.
Do you feel like that fight with Tank, the rematch with Roach, is bigger
than perhaps a Shakur Stevenson fight now?
Yeah, for sure.
Tell me why.
Yeah,
Tell me.
he got in the ring. He got in the ring with Tank with no hesitation.
Okay.
For the hell of a fight. You know, everybody want to see it again. And Shakur's last 3 fights, they criticized him. You know, because of his style of fight. No offense to him, but this is the reality. People criticize him because of the way he fight. You know, and they don't want to see that. They'd rather see Roach again. You know.
Who do you think will win this time? Share your thoughts in the comments below.